I'm Patricia, and this is Investigating Vegan Life with Patricia Kathleen. This series features interviews and conversations I conduct with experts from food and fashion to tech and agriculture, from medicine and science to health and humanitarian arenas. Our inquiry is an effort to examine the variety of industries and lifestyle tenets in the world of vegan life. To that end, we will cover topics that have revealed themselves as common and integral when exploring veganism. The dialogue captured here is part of our ongoing effort to host transparent and honest rhetoric for those of you who, like myself, find great value in hearing the expertise and opinions of individuals who have dedicated their work and lives to their ideals. You can find information about myself and my podcast at patriciakathleen.com. Welcome to Investigating Vegan Life. Now let's start the conversation. Hi everyone, and welcome back. This is Patricia Kathleen, and this is our series with analyzing Patricia Kathleen Investigates Vegan Life. I'm sitting today with Bhavani Baumann. She's the co-founder of The Green Lion. The Green Lion is Australia's only 100% plant-based pub bistro. Welcome, Bhavani.
Thank you.
Thank you for meeting with us. I'm excited to be sitting here with you today in the pub and everything else in Australia. I will quickly tell everyone that the concept behind Green Lion is traditional Aussie pub food done vegan.
That's right, yeah.
And so a quick roadmap for everyone who's listening to this as a podcast or watching as a podcast. We're first I'm gonna kind of climb through some of your personal history, as well as getting into the nuts and bolts of the restaurant, the pub that you guys have, and then talk about a little bit about the Australian vegan and plant-based scene as you perceive it to be.
Sure.
So let's start off with the location of where the Green Lion is based in Sydney.
So we're in Rozelle, which is in the inner west of Sydney. We're just probably 5-10 minutes out of the centre of Sydney. So
nice. And how would you describe the neighborhood? Is it hipster? Is it up and coming? Is it like, what's the large scene of the population around here?
This particular area is it used to be a bit downtrodden and a bit artistic. It's become, because it's close to the city and we're on the harbour.
Yeah.
So a lot more money's coming to the area now, and we've got a lot more professionals and corporates. So I wouldn't say that. Actually, funnily enough, this area isn't really our demographic.
Yeah. Right. So it's good. Do you find that, did you guys pick the location because of where it's located? It's in this great old, pub, but did you pick it because of the location it was located in, or the actual building itself?
Well, Sacha, my business partner, and I are both locals. We both grew up in this area, and so we just knew this space was available, and
nice.
And that's why. And we loved the old pub. And
so when did you put it together? When did you found it?
It was 2016 that we started. So basically, the idea to opening was 6 weeks. It was very fast and very organic sort of process.
Wow.
And we just sort of thought, let's do a vegan pub, but we didn't know. It was 3.5, nearly 4 years ago, so we didn't actually know it would be as popular as it is.
Sure. Yeah. Did you have any history in the food service industry or in pub histories? How did you know how to pull everything together? 6 weeks to opening is so fast.
Yeah. Sacha, my business partner, comes from a background of restaurants and cafes. I've done catering and cooking, but I'm nowhere near as experienced as he is. So that's his whole life has been. He grew up in restaurants with his family, and then he's always had restaurants and cafes.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like you would have to. You'd have to have some kind of an advanced expert on this scene. So when you guys were pulling it together, did you know did it come together as being like an Aussie pub, traditional Aussie pub food scene done vegan, or did that come in later?
No, we always wanted to do it like that.
Yeah.
I grew up vegetarian, so I was born into a vegetarian family, and growing up vegetarian in Australia, there wasn't much to eat in terms of when you go out, or if you want a burger or anything like that. And I always have this thing that I just want to eat what everyone else is eating.
Yeah.
But do you need them to?
No, it's okay.
But done vegetarian at that point, and then I went vegan about 5 years ago. So then it became. We want what everyone else wants. We don't want anything weird or fancy. We just want what everyone else wants. But
yeah.
animal product free.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And it's really taking over the U.S. as well. You know, the burger joints in particular, 100% plant-based, vegan, in at least in Southern California, they're just blooming and blossoming, and businesses is kind of booming. It was cool to see it happen here. I find that Australia does have a lot of the, they have a lot of flagships though in health and wellness, and the plant-based lifestyle is kind of attached to that. You know, this kind of eco-friendly, this awareness of the earth, which the website you guys have has some verbiage to that. And I want to get into, you yourself, are you vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, and how long have you been vegan?
About 5 years now, yeah.
So do you find that there's an emotional attachment between the words vegan and plant-based in Australia as far as the clientele?
When we opened, we stayed away from the word vegan. What we're trying to do is something quite mainstream, and in fact, we didn't want to turn people off with the word vegan.
Right.
I find we use it more now because it seems to be more, it's become a mainstream word because big companies are using it. So we were called plant-based pub food when we started.
Yeah.
But what I'm finding now is that a lot of companies are calling their food plant-based and it's not vegan as well.
Correct.
So they're trying to trade off the vegan thing. It's a bit tricky.
It is. Well, and the word vegan, it's divisive. It's, it's a lot of people feel like it's politicized and rather than just speaking to ingredients. But I agree with what you're saying. I've purchased so many things that say plant-based, and then I flip it over and it's not vegan.
I went into a whole shop the other day that said plant-based, and I assumed it was vegan.
Yeah.
And I got a bit upset, and I'm like, don't call it that.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm now using the word vegan a lot more because people are looking for that word too now on products. Yeah, I think so they're sure.
Absolutely, I think so as well. Well, and on your website, you guys have a cruelty-free shop where is that an affiliation, an alliance, or is it a shop run through you guys?
No, it's a shop. It's another business. So we also do ready meals to retailers. So and the cruelty-free shop sells our ready meals. So we have a brand called Take Me Home I'm Vegan, which is vegan meals and pastries that we sell through some big retailers here. And Cruelty Free shares this shop in most cities in Australia.
I see. Yeah, I thought that was I think I've seen a lot of crossovers between a lot of different vegan enterprises mainly in Sydney with the online shopping, and I thought it's got to be kind of big here. And then I had the pleasure of hitting Woolworths and trying to do grocery shopping here and trying to find the vegan areas. It's like usually a little cubby of a corner tucked away somewhere, but it is interesting to see it kind of evolve and grow.
It's growing. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever drink Milo in the States, but Milo is a big thing growing out of chocolate, like a thing that you mix in with milk, a chocolate
like a chocolate powder or something.
It's like granules, and it was something we all grew up with as kids. Well, this week they've brought out the vegan one, it's Nestle, which is, so all the big companies are jumping on it now. Yeah. Which is also interesting for small businesses like us. It could not be good as well, because they're what they can sell things for, the prices that they can sell things for, we can't.
Of course, it's always going to take it out on the little business owner.
It will, but then for the movement, it's good. So
for the Green Line itself, what are your hours? What are your hours of operation? Has that changed since you've opened your doors? Can you speak to a little bit of that?
No, so because of the area we're in, we're only open Wednesday to Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and then all day Saturday and Sunday. It's not really an area that lends itself well to weekday lunches and things like that. So,
what is your demographic? Can you speak? Do you know? Is it in 20s, 30s, 40s? Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, since Game Changers came out, we've had an influx of very interesting characters that are going vegan. People that you just wouldn't have expected. Yeah. Absolutely. So what I do love about our space is that you can have an alternative person, you know, with dreadlocks and piercings next to a banker from
Yeah.
Mossman, which is an exclusive area in Sydney. And you really can't, I don't think anymore you can really pick a vegan.
No.
I mean, that's really all walks of life, all ages. They've been in a few times now, this big family, and the guys, they're quite, you know, they're building site guys in their 50s, and they've watched Game Changers, and the whole family's trying to be vegan, and, you know, it just wouldn't have happened a few years ago.
Right. Yeah, definitely not.
You
Speaking
know.
to your menu, do you guys frequently sample new, because there are so many different kinds of, you know, meat substitutes or alternatives and different things, cheeses, you know, in the beginning they were all soy-based, and now there's coconut and all of that's kind of coming out. Do you sample new things as they hit the market to change your menu?
We do swap. I think our cheese has changed a few times.
Yeah.
Because also products get better as the market expands, prices come down. You know, I think when we opened the meat we were importing from the States, because that's where you could get, and it was very, very expensive. But, you know, people in Australia are making it now. There's competition for all the businesses now as well. So,
Yeah.
and I think people are getting better at their processes. So, you know, to me, the cheeses that are being made now are heaps better than the cheeses that were 3 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Over the past 5 years, cheese for me has changed dramatically.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think a lot of it actually came from Europe. You know, it's a lot of people cite Greece.
Yeah.
People cite this United States sometimes as being these flagships, but the best vegan cheese I had over the past 10 years was 5 years ago in Ireland that was imported from Greece.
Right. Well, we
So-
actually so we've usually got cheeses from Greece that we use. They seem to be mainly made in Greece, but actually we're using at the moment cheese, which is from Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and only because it melts better than anything else that we've tried.
Absolutely.
So look at that, we do change our products. We now make a lot of products ourselves instead of bringing, like we make our own chicken and
Nice.
you know, so we're getting better at sort of creating our own stuff as well.
It seems like the next step, right? The next venture, as long as you've got something going on. And speaking of like moving forward, do you guys are you looking forward to opening more locations, or are you just going to stay on this
we
one?
would like to, and we've thought about it. It's, you know, running one it's tricky, and, you know, there's a lot involved, and just to keep, you know, we really pride ourselves on the product always being the same and fresh, and if you're opening multiple venues, it's hard to make sure that's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've watched a lot of vegan businesses expand too quickly and then fall apart. So it's a very, you know, do you do one really well or multiple not so well?
Yeah, absolutely. Do one really well, always, right? Yeah.
I think it seems to be the way to go. You know, unless you've got multiple partners who can all be in the venues, you know, you can't just rely on staff to run them for you. So
No, absolutely not. How is the vegan business owners in the community? It's okay.
Yeah.
And how do you all know each other? Are there meetups?
yeah.
Are there integrations?
we don't get to meet up too often because we're all so busy.
Yeah, I guess you.
But we do
there is
communicate a lot,
vibrant-
and we are very supportive of each other as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you hit other towns like Melbourne and places, do you check in on those like vegan establishments?
Yeah, wherever we go, we eat. Like, we were in Melbourne for a few days, and I think we just ate for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
You always want to know what else is around.
Yes.
And also there's other venues that we just love.
Yeah.
You know, like we love as well, and we want to get in there and eat their food, and they're famous, you know, for
Absolutely.
what they do as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I am so glad that you guys you took the time to sit down with me today. I think it was awesome to kind of explore the vegan scene, and for anyone who's traveling through Sydney, you got to pop over. I love it. The city's such a beautiful. There isn't a neighborhood here that isn't just a joy for me to bounce
that's
into.
nice. Have you been to Australia before?
Years ago, about 20 years ago when I was a child. And oh no, sorry, not as a child. I lived here. I had an experience out of Adelaide and all the way up to Coffs Harbour. So I did it when I was in my 20s. But It's different now for me. For some reason, I love Sydney more than I did in the past, and I don't know if the city's changed or perhaps I have. Or
Sydney Harbour's amazing. I mean, I can never get over Sydney Harbour, and I've lived here my whole life.
Yeah, it really is.
Like I love Melbourne, but I miss that
feel. I do too. The Sydney Harbour really makes Miller's Point. You know, I was standing up there the other day, looking down over like all of the different waterways and the Opera House and the bridge.
It's amazing.
And I thought I was dying. It was,
I know.
It was so beautiful.
Sunset in that, looking at the Opera House and everything is just amazing. So
it's a quick hop over just from that beautiful scene that we were just talking about in the Harbour. So for everyone who's listening and watching, I encourage all of you to bop over to the Green Lion. It's an awesome experience, and I love it. The decor too. We haven't gotten into it, and for any of you who have been listening to the podcast, check out the podcast because it is so awesome. It really does feel just like, you know, that, especially that old Aussie pub feel. I love it.
Exactly, yeah, and it is an old Aussie pub, and there aren't actually many left in this condition.
Yeah.
You know, everyone does them up, and we love how old it is, and all this wood, I don't know, you know, this was all here, and we just put up the bookshelves and painted it green, and you know, everything's from second-hand stores.
Nice.
You know, like everything's
it's
all the lamps, everything that we've just collected over the few years. You know?
We need it too in this day of like sleek, clean, white, modern. Like we need places like this around, you know, to get that juxtaposition.
Well, it's warmer. I think it's a warmer vibe, and you know, we wanted this space to be like a warm, safe space for anyone to come into, whether you're on your own or in a group. You know, you just feel comfortable, like it's your lounge room, you know.
Absolutely, and it feels that way. And the balcony is beautiful. I know on your website it says that it's got awesome sunsets, and it's a really cool space. I love it that it's on a floor up as well. So thank you so much for meeting with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely, thanks.
Thanks.